Coming up on today's episode of Airborne-Unlimited, Amelia found again. Skywagon breaks through ice doing TNGs in Ogden, Utah. Jetson Bill to enshrine place in USA for roadable aircraft. Welcome to Airborne Unlimited. I'm your host, Holland Lee. Let's get into today's stories. Amelia Earhart found again. After an extensive deep-water search, a group of underwater archaeologists and marine robotics experts claim to have found a sonar image that may answer a great mystery: the disappearance of Amelia Earhart. Captured westward of Earhart's projected landing point in a swath of the Pacific untouched by known wrecks, the image reveals contours that mirror the unique dual tails and scale of her storied aircraft. Deep Sea Vision, a Charleston, South Carolina-based marine robotics company led by CEO Tony Romeo, was pursuing the missing aircraft using the dateline theory of her disappearance nearly 87 years ago. Originally theorized in 2010 by Liz Smith, a former NASA employee and amateur pilot, the dateline theory attributes Earhart's disappearance to simply forgetting to turn the calendar back one day as she flew over the international dateline. Smith suggested that Amelia's navigator, Fred Noonan, miscalculated his celestial star navigation by simply forgetting to turn back the date from July 3rd to 2nd as they flew across the dateline, creating a westward navigational error of 60 miles. Earhart's fate has been the source of speculation and conspiracy theories since her mysterious disappearance in 1937. And after the break, NetJets' row continues between union and employer.
Coming to Sun and Fun's 50th fly-in celebration, Trace Atkins for an opening day concert.
I took a war since I was a kid between Jesus and John.
Don't miss Trace Atkins with special guest Sarah Evans.
Ponytail girl grown up to be a woman, now she's gone in a blink of an eye.
Get your tickets now and be a part of the kickoff celebration for Sun and Fun's 50th fly-in. Go to flysnf.org.
Welcome back. Now let's take a trip around the patch for some shorter stories. NetJets' row continues between union and employer. The NetJets Association of Shared Aircraft Pilots continues its public brawl with their employer, firing back after the company alleged that pilots were engaging in higher rates of fatigued call-offs. The union represents 3,200 pilots in the firm's service. The NJASAP response said that the company, quote, did not provide any evidence to substantiate its extraordinary allegations, end quote. NetJets execs apparently believe that pilots are finding any excuse possible to stop flights, from calling in sick or fatigued, or finding more faults than usual with aircraft before dispatch. Book reviews flight jacket artwork of World War II. Those interested in the history of the European bomber campaign, military surplus collecting, or never-before-published anecdotes from World War II can pick up a recently published book, Bomber Boys, World War II Flight Jacket Art by John Slemp. The coffee table book hits all the right bases, focusing on the most visible, unusual piece of issue gear for the guys in their ETO, their now classic pilot's jackets. As pilots soldiered on in theater, they began to decorate their uniforms with homespun art, pin-ups, and designs that have remained a pop culture icon to this day. 2024 Pacific Coast Dream Machines canceled and blames FAA. Organizers of the Pacific Coast Dream Machine Show said this year's event, planned for April, will not be going ahead due to, quote, delays in the permitting process through the FAA, end quote. The board statement said, quote, with a heavy heart, we must inform you that our beloved Pacific Coast Dream Machines event will not be moving forward this year. After 7 months of pre-planning, we must cancel the event due to delays in the permitting process with the FAA. We are no longer able to continue moving forward for a 2024 event at the Half Moon Bay Airport, end quote. Airwolf Gains STC for TB-17 installation on Airbus, Hughes, and Bell Helis. Airwolf Aerospace received FAA STC approval for the installation of TrueBlue Power's TB-17 lithium-ion batteries across 5 makes and 10 models of helicopters. The approval now allows them to apply trusty, improved lithium battery power to the Airbus H125, AS350, AS355, EC120, H130, and EC130, Bell's 206A, 206B, and 206L, Enstrom's 480B, Hiller's UH-12E, and MD Helicopter's 369 and 500 models. The STC allows the installation in the baggage compartment in some models like the AS350, further improving handling by putting the smaller, lighter battery closer to the aircraft's center of gravity. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's get back to the rest of the news. Skywagon breaks through ice doing TNGs in Ogden, Utah. A 1983 Cessna 185F Skywagon practicing touch-and-goes at Ogden, Utah's Pineview Reservoir broke through the ice, stranding the 2 occupants with a partially submerged aircraft. The occupants safely got out of the plane, trekking across the frozen lake on foot. Luckily, they exited the cockpit before it had completely submerged, meeting up with first responders ashore for much-needed warmth and a quick checkout at the local hospital. The decision to practice maneuvers on the reservoir was not a great one, given Utah's unseasonably warm January this month. Temps have largely stayed above freezing throughout the month, with the 26 seeing temps go from 36 Fahrenheit to 43 degrees at midday. That wasn't entirely conducive to strong ice conditions, as the now waterlogged Cessna can attest. Ultimately, it's a lesson for all not to assume that winter always brings winter conditions. The local Weber County Sheriff's Office commented on the incident, with Casey Knife weighing in, quote, reports that we got from the passengers was that they were doing touch-and-goes on the ice and broke through the ice. I'm assuming they were just touching down briefly on the ice and lifting back off, end quote. And after these messages, Jetson Bill to enshrine place in USA for roadable aircraft.
Well, hello, fellow pilot. I'm John King.
And I'm Martha King.
You know, we've all had our flying lives disrupted lately.
Well, King Schools is here to help you stay up to date with courses that you can access on your desktop, iPad, or iPhone. If you'd like a refresher or just want to expand your aviation horizons, we have a course for you.
So head over to kingschools.com/Rusty today for details.
I'm currently using the Hartzell Talon, by far the best aerobatic propeller ever come out.
I use the Trailblazer. It adds performance to the Super Decathlon and dependability, and it's rugged.
Hartzell's been an excellent partner for Whip Air, just in terms of your product support as well as keeping an eye on the market and developing new products that meet demand.
It's helping us all have better performing airplanes.
It's such a proud honor to fly behind that propeller.
Welcome back. Jetson Bill to enshrine place in USA for roadable aircraft. Samson Sky and Alef have been busy lobbying for a place in U.S. law, trying to ensure their road-ready aircraft have a legal framework to operate under once they move to production. The 2020 passage of the Jetson Bill included wording to allow roadworthy aircraft to be registered for use on state roads and highways. The big players today have remained Samson Sky, a team with an active media presence and a continuous stream of promising developmental news, and Alef, whose Model A flying car design is slated for delivery by 2026. Terrafugia rolled up operations in the U.S. and took them to China, and the Euro option, PAL-V, has set down roots in New Hampshire. Samson Sky says it's still working to build out the framework needed to see their product to market. Currently, the flying car ideal works much like any other car. No takeoffs, landings, or overflight of roadways, and flight operations begin and end at an airport. But there's still much more to do, according to Russell Bousfield, Samson's legislative specialist. And that's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne, and don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching.